And then trying to bring this to a peaceful end. They attacking ships yesterday. I think what you did last night was absolutely necessary. It was a very strong response. And I'm with you on this. It's really important. When it comes to NATO, what you have achieved, and this is a huge win, and I just want to say this again, the last 2 years, Canada and European NATO nations spending $215 billion more in 2024 and 2025 and 2026 compared to 2024. This is staggering, 258 billion. In the meantime, almost 200,000 jobs in the US being supported by all the investments by countries in the United States in the defense industrial base, buying from the defense industrial base from the US companies. Here you see there is you have to really get them to step up, to do this. And when it comes to Iran, I know you're disappointed. We discussed it a couple of weeks ago. I would say these are isolated cases. 5,000 planes taking off from European airports in support of Epic Fury. It was Europe as one big platform of power projection for the United States, helping with Epic Fury, including countries you mentioned, Germany from day one, France, and many others. We discussed the Bucharest airport, which was closed for a couple of days for commercial traffic because you needed it for Epic Fury, and they were totally
United
fine.
Kingdom wouldn't let us use the island for 2 weeks, so we had to fly back.
No, so I'm saying you're right. There are isolated
and
cases.
Italy was very bad, having to do with their bases, as you know, and a couple of others. So
but still, generally, 5,000 is huge. And you mentioned Spain. Even you got Spain to pay 2%. They made a huge step in last year. So there's still issues we have to solve. But hey, also even Spain, I would say they got to the 2%. And I know you have a very strong relationship with the United Kingdom, the King, but also you personally always with Keir Starmer, who is now leaving office. He has now also committed to spend another $20 billion extra, 15 billion pounds on defense. So I would argue, without you in this chair, this would not have happened. It is, of course, because of Russia, but also because of you. So grab to win, it's there. You did this. It was The Hague, and now they are implementing it. And on Greenland, you and I made a deal in Davos. I will make sure that that deal is step by step being implemented. That you can deploy, if you want, the Golden Dome on Greenland. You have your trilateral talks, Marco is leading them, from your side with the Greenlanders and the Danes. When it comes to if they would change their constitutional position in the kingdom, etc. But hey,
I mean, just so they understand, Greenland is very important for the United States, but it's not important for Denmark. In fact, when Denmark was overrun by the Nazis in less than 1 day, Hitler beat them out in 1 day, took over. They asked us to take care of Greenland. In fact, we took Greenland, and then stupidly we gave it back. We shouldn't have given it back to them because we're the ones that need it. We need it for protection of the world, not just the United States. And it's very important. It doesn't help Denmark, but it helps us. And it's very important for us. And again, they were defeated very quickly. Denmark was beaten in 1 day, less than 1 day, by the Nazis, by Hitler. And when this happened, they immediately switched it over to us. We owned it. We had it. We were taking care of it, and then we gave it back, which is, I don't know why. I wouldn't have given the Panama Canal back either. You know, so what do I certainly wouldn't have done that because China's tried to take over the Panama Canal, and that's not going to happen. So, but I just, you know, it's interesting. I'm very unhappy with NATO.
कि हमें ओहदे असेंबलियां अजीज नहीं हैं, हमें उनकी तहरीक और उनका खून अजीज है.
But also your allies get it thanks to you, and that is important. I could not do this without you.
It's too bad Biden didn't do it, or Obama.
Hey, but you are here now.
Obama.
And Trump 45, and Trump 47. In total, more than $1.2 trillion. I call this the Trump trillion.
No, it's true.
$1.2 trillion
you know,
extra spent by Canada and the
And I'm not only blaming NATO. They got a free ride. And
not
if
anymore.
Biden had any brain, which he didn't, he would have said, you got to pay more. And same with Obama. Two bad presidents. But they could have asked, and you would have done that too. It would have been, I mean, who knows? But who knows if they would have done
happen, and it is a huge.
It should have happened years ago, and it couldn't. But Obama didn't do it.
है कि हमें ओहदे असेंबलियां अजीज नहीं हैं, हमें उनकी तहरीक और उनका खून अजीज है. हम कश्मीरी अवाम के साथ खड़े हैं। कश्मीरी अवाम अगर फैसला करेंगे कि इलेक्शन लड़ना है तो हम भी लड़ लेंगे, लेकिन इलेक्शन लड़ना अहम नहीं है, इस तहरीक के साथ खड़ा होना अहम है। देखिए, इसमें बड़ी बहस हुई हमारी PTI के अंदर, 3-4 हमारी बड़ी नशस्तें हुई इसके ऊपर। हमारे जो दोस्त आज़ाद जम्मू कश्मीर से ताल्लुक़ रखते हैं, जो वहाँ ज़मीनी हक़ाइक़ से वाकिफ़ हैं, उनसे तफसीली बात हुई। देखिए, जो 12 नशस्तों का मामला है जो पाकिस्तान में महाजरीन की मुंतखब की जाती हैं, ये एक बुनियादी मुतालबा है कश्मीरी अवाम का, जॉइंट अवामी एक्शन कमेटी का। ये गलत बात है। देखिए, ऐसा नहीं है। जब आप गोली चलाएंगे तो ये आप तवक्को नहीं कर सकते कि कश्मीरी हो या पाकिस्तानी हो, दुनिया में कहीं भी, कि वो गोली के खिलाफ एहतजाज नहीं करेंगे। ये है कि हमें ओहदे असेंबलियाँ अजीज नहीं हैं, हमें उनकी तहरीक और उनका खून अजीज है। हम कश्मीरी अवाम के साथ खड़े हैं। कश्मीरी अवाम अगर फैसला करेंगे कि इलेक्शन लड़ना है तो हम भी लड़ लेंगे, लेकिन इलेक्शन लड़ना अहम नहीं है, इस तहरीक के साथ खड़ा होना अहम है, मज़ाहमत करना अहम है, बर्बरियत को बताना कि वो बर्बरियत है, ये अहम है।
कुछ हल्के ये कह रहे हैं कि PTI ने ये फैसला करके बहुत बड़ी गलती की।
नहीं, ये गलत है। देखिए, इसमें बड़ी बहस हुई हमारी PTI के अंदर, 3-4 हमारी बड़ी नशस्तें हुई इसके ऊपर। हमारे जो दोस्त आज़ाद जम्मू कश्मीर से ताल्लुक़ रखते हैं, जो वहाँ ज़मीनी हक़ाइक़ से वाकिफ़ हैं, उनसे तफसीली बात हुई। देखिए, जो 12 नशस्तों का मामला है जो पाकिस्तान में महाजरीन की मुंतखब की जाती हैं, ये एक बुनियादी मुतालबा है कश्मीरी अवाम का, जॉइंट अवामी एक्शन कमेटी का। हम कैसे इस मुतालबे के खिलाफ अपने उम्मीदवार खड़े करते इन 12 नशस्तों पर? वो नहीं हो सकता था जब तक इस मुतालबे का कोई हल नहीं आता जो कश्मीरी अवाम को काबिल कबूल हो। हम कश्मीरी अवाम की जद्दोजहद के खिलाफ नहीं खड़े हो सकते।
देखिए, पाकिस्तान से आगे कोई चीज़ नहीं रहा साहब, ये आप भी समझते हैं कानून कान है। दूसरी बात ये बताइए कि कश्मीरी लोगों को क्या पैर में खड़े होके पाकिस्तान के
है कि हमें ओहदे असेंबलियाँ अजीज नहीं हैं, हमें उनकी तहरीक और उनका खून अजीज है। हम कश्मीरी अवाम के साथ खड़े हैं। कश्मीरी अवाम अगर फैसला करेंगे कि इलेक्शन लड़ना है तो हम भी लड़
लेंगे। Frankly, I don't want to waste my time with them. Now, I'll let our wonderful negotiators keep talking if they want, but I don't see it. I don't like these people. You know that? I like him. I like the leaders. I think all of these leaders.
Great. And they love
I think they didn't treat the United States fairly for many years, but that's okay. But they're sane, rational, good people. Most of them. I don't like a couple of them, to be honest with you. But there are a couple I don't like much. But I like Erdogan. I'll tell you, I like President Erdogan. He rolled out the red carpet. He's terrific. You know, he could have gone into the war. A lot of people saying, like with Bibi, I like Bibi. I think Bibi was a terrific wartime prime minister. But Bibi said rough things yesterday about Turkey and Erdogan. And I said, you know, I spoke to him. I said, he could have gone into the war because he doesn't like Israel much. And he doesn't like Bibi much. And he didn't go because of me. And this is a military power. Millions of soldiers. Turkey is very strong. They have a lot of our best equipment. They're trying to get the F-35s. But he didn't go in. He wanted it. He would go in. If it weren't for me, he would have gone in. And he would have been on the other side. Even though I don't think he likes the other side either, because he happens to be very sane, and they happen to be very crazy. But so I think, you know, they treated us right. I think China treated us right. I was with President Xi, and I said, I hope you're not going to go into the war, because we don't want that. You know, he gets 50% of his oil from the Strait of Hormuz, and he gets more than 50%. And he never went into the war. He didn't supply him equipment, you know. He was great. I'm a big fan of President Xi. A lot of people say, oh, why? You know, I watched a couple of people critical of the fact that TikTok, it's so bad, it's so dangerous, it's so horrible, they're spreading all these rumors. And the numbers came out yesterday. You know who's number one on TikTok? I am. I'm number one on TikTok. And all I talk about is how bad communism is, right? They say, oh, it's terrible, they're spreading, but I'm number one. And I listen to Gordon Chang. I like Gordon Chang, but he's always like negative. Oh, China's so terrible, they're so terrible. And TikTok is so terrible. But I'm number one on TikTok. I have like 4 billion views or something like that. So I don't know. People have to get the priorities straight. We have had a really good day. We're going to have another good half a day, and then I'll see you later. We'll talk to you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, press. Thanks, guys.
I also will do